going on, Netrunner fans? This is Shamar here, back again with Tim. Super excited to be covering the top 8 from the Toronto Regionals 2015 at Legends Warehouse. It was a tournament that featured 34 players, and these are the best 8 of those 34. We have Jack playing RP and the Ben Kate deck that we've seen in earlier matches.
What's up, guys? Looks like they're set up and ready to go. Jack's taking his mandatory draw. Icing HQ hedge fund to 9 credits. And a remote server.
And that's always a perfect start for RP. Money, central protection, and what could be a Sundew down there.
Yeah, only thing better would, well, I would have taken 2 turns, I guess, to get something on R&D as well. So Ben will have the incentive to poke R&D and then check the remote as well. Especially
now that he has the bank job out for some quick money. So bank job, more money with the cash that he's playing. I found it interesting that he was playing cash out of this deck, as he plays the Maker's Eye run.
Quick Maker's Eye.
3, doesn't see anything. Yeah, I was surprised that he was playing the cash because I didn't really think that it would make him too much, but I guess with a pawn shop, I guess that makes it a better card to have in in Kate, but I feel like I would have went for a little bit different influence there.
Yeah, it's true. Well, from the previous match, we also saw he has a stim hack as well. So I think the key is just burst money options. Cash is still, 3 for a click,
right,
and then 3 for 0 clicks at your next turn.
That's very true.
Okay, so it was a mental health, the first remote. The second one is a daily business show.
So there, Jackson see 2 cards every time he draws at the beginning of his turn, rather than 1, and put one of those at the bottom of his deck. And Ben has the early Astrolabe, so now Jack's not going to want to play his RP 2 horizontal, because every new server that he makes, that's a free draw for Ben as well.
Alright, these guys are taking their turns very fast. Now he's got all 3 centrals defended. Mental health will be ticking each turn.
I like how he puts the credit out on top of the card.
Yep. Here comes a Mimic. Ben expecting perhaps Architect, but it's not an Architect.
Straight into the Cortex Lock, and he only has 2 memory out right now, so that's going to be 2 damage for him.
3 damage. The Astrolabe actually hurts him here.
Right.
And let's see what he gets. I think I see another Maker's Eye.
Maker's Eye.
R&D interface.
And I missed the one in between.
Me too.
Might have been a clone chip.
But those are good cards.
But he still gets the access.
And now he's going to trash all those assets, yep. You really can't let that stuff tick for too long. Mental health, of course, being free to res, the Corp immediately profits off that. And daily business show, it's just insane.
Yeah.
I mean, are you in a strong spot, then you can, if the Corp's in a strong spot, you can get your better cards even faster. And if you're struggling, then you just bury your agendas to the bottom of the deck.
I feel like I do that way too often, where I'm stuck having to bury agendas. As Jack scores out the Nisei Mark II agenda.
Ben didn't even try poking there. He had to recover from the net damage. Okay, sure gamble. Gets him to at least 9 credits, and he spends it right away for professional context.
Pro-con, so good. Don't see it too much anymore with Symmetrical Visage and Earthrise Hotel and all the wild side decks running around.
Yeah. Those 2 being neutral options too is huge, because really, do you really need to play Procon if you're not Shaper anymore? Probably not. You have 2 neutral options now, very viable options. So Jack has a Jackson Howard to make up for the card draw that he lost with Daily Business Show. There's a clone chip.
Yep, to make up for the one that was lost earlier due to the Cortex Lock.
Another Astrolabe. Ben doesn't need that. Okay, Jack is drawing.
And we got the Celebrity Gifts. So that is Himitsu, Bako, a Celebrity Gift, Tollbooth, Pup, and
I missed the 5th one. So that's going to net him 7 credits over 2 clicks. And Jack is in a very, very happy spot right now. Ben can't poke HQ. Cortex Lock is out of Mimic range. His only option is to find all his programs and install them. So install 3 more programs, so Cortex Lock now does nothing.
Man, that card is so good.
Yeah,
so good.
The numbers on it, fantastic.
Got the Zoo Keymaster decoder.
Daily cast. All right, so he's a 3 memory out of 5 before Cortex Lock is useless. Jack is...
Just makes Jinteki so much scarier to poke early game. Like, at this point, you never want to run at them with no breakers out.
I mean, before, way back, you could just install Mimic and it would walk over all their early sentries, right? Neural Katana, Saruji, like it would cost Komanyu too. Like it would cost you money, but you know you could beat it for sure. Okay, here comes the second. We knew he had it in hand, so he's just doing it now.
Yep.
Another Eli that we saw.
There's a Quandary, and the first card was Ashigaru.
Yep, and he's chucking 2 face downs too. Love that play. Whenever you can draw with Jackson, and then Celebrity Gifts the specific 5 that you want to show the runner.
Yep. So Ben's still searching here for his Aesop's Pawn Shop as he plays his Lady Barrier Breaker.
All right, 4 out of 5. But I mean, here's the thing, right? He knows there's nothing really good in HQ.
Yep.
Unless, again, Jack did the mind game where he showed 5 cards, but then he chucked 2 of them for 2 secret cards to hold on to 2 secret cards, rather. Okay, so he pops to Jackson. He wants to use that remote, obviously.
Let's see what he does here. So
There's a double
stack
ice.
and install and advance.
Whew.
Very fast play.
Yep. And he has so much money. That's 15, 16, 20, right?
Yep.
20 credits. Those 2 Celebrity Gifts really add up quickly. That's 14 credits right there off the 2 gifts.
So it's 20 credits and 2 points, 2 bends, 10 credits and 0 as he installs the Cyber Cipher, which we assume is going to be placed on the remote. Or
I think he chose R&D.
Because he did see the Tollbooth, so...
That's true, yeah. He has to guess where he put it.
And he hits the Tollbooth over the remote. So immediately loses 3 credits.
Oh my goodness.
Continues into a second Tollbooth. So that's a 6 credit loss automatically before even breaking or anything.
Yeah.
Which is kind of unfortunate.
Okay, so he did choose the remote with Cyber Cipher. Sorry, he just ran R&D first because of RP's ability. That was silly of me. Oh my goodness. And Ben is now bankrupt.
Yeah, that's rough.
And Jack is going to score a second Nisei.
He only has 1 credit though, but I mean, at this point, that 1 credit is still going to go a long way.
Yeah, exactly.
He has a lot of time to build himself back up here.
I mean, Ben can only poke R&D, really. He knows HQ should be relatively clear. Again, because of those 2 Celebrity Gifts, the timing wouldn't make sense if Jack was holding on to like a fistful of agendas. It just doesn't make sense.
Right. So we got the Aesop's Pawn Shop there with the beautiful alt art. So now Ben can start getting rid of the things that he doesn't need, namely cash, which has been on the table for a while.
Yep, there he goes. Oh, just kidding. Nah, he remembered about Cortex Lock. He remembered Cortex Lock. He needs that memory.
So he pawns the bank job first.
Daily cast expires as well. So that's good. That's 5 credits at the cost of 0 clicks. And Procon, I mean, he has been drawing a lot, so getting credit too. Jack does not care about resing R&D, or he just can't afford to, which is a fair point either way.
Right. So Caprice gets trashed for $1.
There's another daily cast.
Oh my goodness.
The problem is Jack is getting money in these big bursts, and Ben is getting money, you know, like Aesop's is fairly fast, but daily cast is not really that fast. And he's only seen 1 cash, which is, you know, probably his faster option.
Yep.
And I think he's only played like 1 sure gamble or something like that. So while Ben has been able to acquire money, it just hasn't been able to do it as fast as Jack.
Those Celebrity Gifts are strong.
Exactly, yeah.
And there's a Sunday right
and now,
there.
And there's another distraction.
So what do you do here? You just saw that there's a Future Perfect in hand. And the Sunday's on the table, obviously. So what do you go for that Future Perfect, or do you go straight for the Sunday?
Yeah, this is awful here. At this point, I mean, RP's already sitting on... He must be in double digits by now, right? Just, I think you forgo the Sundew. You really only play the Sundew games in like the first 2-3 turns when RP is struggling to get into the 10-15 credit range, in my opinion, because then you can really play that money game to try to slow them down.
Right.
But I mean, Jack's seen all 3 celebrity gifts now, and this, oh man, there's an install double advance.
Double advance. So it looks like Ben was trying to go for R&D and hopefully see the
Yeah.
agendas first. But Jack already had one on the table.
So double Tollbooth, that, again, that's 6 credits guaranteed that you have to pay. No way around it unless he pulls out a Fem. And Cyber Cypher is amazing against Tollbooth. Only 1 to match, 1 to break, but that's 10 credits to get through that server.
Yeah. So he pawns a sharpshooter for a net gain of $2. And that's when you know that your econ is suffering.
Yep. He's still poking R&D. He has to do this because of RP's ability.
And hits the Eli. So do you break it here with Lady and just hope? I guess he bounces.
Oh, he's going to vamp.
So he bounces off of R&D and
All
goes
right.
to the vamp.
And he's willing to take the 1 net damage because he has 5 memory again.
Mm-hmm.
Not the end of the world.
So he's going to vamp.
Now, is Jack going to...
I think he's going to use a counter rather than let it... Or not.
Oh, no. Okay, he tosses his money, so he lets the vamp go through. So vamp different from a count siphon because you both lose your money.
Yep.
Whereas a count siphon is supposed to be Corp lose 5, you gain 10. Okay, there's a free cash. It's going to be 6 credits over 2 turns.
So I wonder why he wouldn't use the counter there, or maybe he let it go first before realizing he had the counters to use and just decided to stick with
I'm not sure. Jack is not someone that would forget. I think he's just... He's so far ahead here. Like 2 Nisei counters is so ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And like that double Tollbooth is still some pretty serious protection. So
you just save it when you're going to score that agenda.
Exactly, yeah. You just let it go.
I guess because then that means the RP run on a central first, and then you can stop 2 of them. And he has to put it all in on his last one.
Yep.
And by then, Jack probably finds a Caprice to put in the server.
Yeah, and there are 2 remotes in that. So, sorry, 2 cards in that remote server.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
right.
besides the what we assume is the agenda. Yeah, he's using Dark Sleeves, so it's kind of tell. Okay, gets the 3rd
Gets
Nisei.
1. So 4-2.
He immediately went back in, but Lady's going to run out of counter soon.
Yeah, and there it is.
Wow. So
Utopia
fast.
Fragment for 3 points.
Yeah.
A quick 7-2. That's a very, very fast RP deck.
It is, yeah. I mean, Jack only had 1 mental health clinic and 1 Sundew, and when we think of the long grinding RP games, we usually think of like 3 of each. Like the corpse servers have been spread out all over the table, and the runner's like, I can't deal with this right now. But this game, it was celebrity gifts. Jack found them early, and with absolutely no hesitation, he was able to burst the 7 credits each time. Net profit of 7 credits
I believe
each
he
time.
found all 3, did he not?
I remember he got
like
all of them out. Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yep.
And when you don't care about showing the cards to your opponent, which you shouldn't, because that amount of money is fantastic, then and you're a player like Jack who knows how to use that money, then you're set. You're all set to go.
Yeah, that was a great game. I'm glad to see a refreshing RP deck that doesn't grind out and wear on your opponent mentally.
Yeah.
Just by dragging the game out. So that was awesome to see. So moving forward, we have the next game on the winner side, which is going to be Jack playing Haley Kaplan versus Sung Ho's ETF deck that we saw in Swiss. So that is a very interesting matchup, and hopefully you guys get a chance to watch that.